Alright folks, welcome back. We are loading into Blood Boil for the first map in this brand new best of 5.
You know, there's not many things that like takes me back to my World of Warcraft days. But Blood Boil would be one of them. Yep, popping that a lot.
I think I just nailed the impression.
Yeah, totally.
I'm doing what's better, that or my night is worm. Oh, well, one day. Alright, so it's a brand new best of 5, but the theme of the day is still testing new maps here for the map test tournament. The last best of 5 that'll play out after this will, of course, be Nurchio versus Neeb. I'm very excited for that one, but this one shouldn't be too bad either. He gave us a lot of surprising upsets, and is apparently, like, he did get out of his group for Ting. In the bottom right, it's Snute.
I thought you were going to talk about this guy. Top
Oh
left.
yeah, this guy gave us some really crazy upsets.
As the Red Terran, he is Optimus, so I guess to elaborate,
He
I guess
also
you meant
got out of his group.
upset it over a laser, right?
Yeah,
that's what
that's what I was gonna get
Okay.
into. Yeah, but I forgot. Right, Optimus also blew our minds, defeating all the Zergs. Like what?
Yeah, including this guy Snute. So definitely we set these up on purpose, like where they played Cupid with the matchups here, because that wasn't the only time they played.
Yeah.
They've played now, this is going to be their third time, and the first time they met, Optimus just looked like, who is this kind of scrub, to be honest. Snute knew exactly what he was going to do, like to a T, and then just like totally wrecked him. Second time they played, I thought it would be the same thing, and then Optimus brought it back in a late game macro game. You guys should definitely look up the Cactus Valley game.
Yeah.
And then he just actually took the overall series and then got out first place in the group. So Optimus is looking good and is even 3-axing right now.
Well, this is what I was gonna get into. When we saw Optimus for the very first time in a long time on our stream, he was doing just only 3 Raxes, and he got crushed by, I think it was like sort of. Like it wasn't even like some super insane Korean, like sort of just knocked him down. It looked bad. So I really had a bad impression of Optimus, but I'm glad to have been wrong about it. Anyways, some of the map design stuff may lead to things like this, and we will get to see, like, I really don't mind that it's Reapers. I want to see the maps stress tested with builds like this.
I'm so glad he's doing it. Okay, so this is like one of the reasons I really was wanting for TvZ.
Oh, that is.
Well, that's the one that he's using for his racks. Like, that's what I was first impressed with. Like, his 2 barracks are up against his own back door, which gives him a little bit of a boost towards Snute's base, right? So this is kind of cool. Now, that back door is a way far away from the natural, and that is a key point about back doors, that they're not inherently bad. Well, jumping back doors, rather, for Reapers, because there's another back door on this map that I guess we should have really specified for.
The bigger,
but anyway,
weirder, aggressive backdoor, apparently.
Yeah, but for the hop-ups, like, it's really not that bad to have a hop-up spot that's back here. This is not what's abusive about Reapers, and really, it's not abusive at all. As you see, like, the clean field of it mostly.
A long time as well to wrap around.
Yeah, this is what's abusive about it, is when you can hop up and go to the natural, and then like a bunch of other things, right? So,
I guess we should know too. Sorry, while we talk about the back thing, whether we'll see Snute or anyone get to that point, again, it's a low yield base. There's 6 mineral patches back there. Map makers are playing around with this, I guess, for the season, and I don't know that I like it.
I don't know either. I'm still confused what they meant by aggressive. I saw some people in chat try and, I guess, elaborate a little bit more, but we'll get to talk about it if we actually even get there. Of course, Optimus is expanding right now. Still don't see a third yet, nor do we see extra. Okay, the factory just went down. Never mind. So it's not going to be 3 bases for him quite yet.
Oh no, there's nowhere for her to get blown away too.
Whoa, that was weird. She's like, I'm dancing forward.
My legs are on the ground, doing a wheelie.
Yeah, this is a little weird. So this really isn't a very amazing Reaper map. The fact that you can get there kind of quickly to their natural from this back door is kind of a cool feature, but there's not any ledges that you can hop up on to get into the main base, and the one that's behind is just so far away, it's not really ever going to be worth it. Maybe if they go slowlings and roaches, I guess you can get back there and be annoying, but speedling's going to chase him down. Well, alright, not bad. That could have been more suicidal.
Yeah, that's a way to phrase that, I suppose. Here's the problem, though, going back on Optimus' side of the map, though. Walling this off is going to be a pain. Like, if you did 3 racks out here, maybe that's a little bit different, but you don't want to because of the back door up here as well. So this is just like a big gaping hole that's not going to be easily sealed. And Snute, recognizing this, just goes right for the natural.
That is a problem. One of the best features about Echo is that if you reacts, you can wall off. This isn't a big deal, but this is a big deal.
Yeah, this doesn't look like it's gonna necessarily end the game in terms of like breaking up the ramp, destroying him, but this already has done a lot of good counter damage for somebody who was behind, having gone for Reapers the way he did.
Oh yeah, this is devastating someone, especially since it's not a 3cc build. He just lost his Marines, which is gonna cut his medevac follow-up the tiniest little bit. Snute did take the back base, which maybe in the future, if this was taking the map pool, people would be a little more aggressive once they really figure out the map, and they might take other bases besides that pocket third. But for now, that is still the safest one, even if it is less minerals.
Well, I guess we will actually have the base get to it. So yeah, Snute. It's weird just seeing that /12. Like it's just unsettling, but
yeah,
I guess
two gas guys.
Yeah, I was gonna point that out. There's at least that going for him. I don't think any of the other bases are low yield though. Nothing that. Oh, this one is. Okay. But why would you? Where would you? Why? I guess if you didn't knock these rocks down, you could expand this way. But this doesn't seem like a base you'd want to expand to.
Their thinking is probably especially for Zerg, let's say, is that if you take that base, there's very little chance the Terran would push into it. That wouldn't be where they're pushing into. If you took that base as your fourth, they'd probably still be pushing into your natural.
I don't know, man.
Which looks like a third right now, I guess. I don't know either. Snute's taking the fourth that is not low yield in the first place, but does put him closer to his opponent's rally.
So I just want to note there real quick. I don't think that all map I love the idea of experimenting with pathways, and I think it's when done well really good. But just to finish my thought really quick, it should also be something that's understood at a glance. If you have to study a map to understand the basic pathing on it, I don't think that's a good map. Just personal opinion.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think it's because we've seen other maps where oh, this base is good. Oh, but this base is also good, and that is having to choose, but in a good way. If you're just sitting there going well, what could possibly be the reason? Then I think that's it's a little more questionable.
I think subtle nuances are great, but if it is something that goes deeper than that, you're well, that's too deep for me.
It's too deep for me. I was knowing because that base that Snute had taken that was just canceled. If we go back, not that one, but the one that was in the middle.
Oh, here, yeah.
Yeah, that one. It's surrounded by ramps. You would have to go up ramps to defend your fourth, which is the most common spot for Terrans and Protoss to push into.
That actually totally looks like a cliff that he should have been able to jump on. I wonder if that's what he was thinking.
It's covered in blood. He would have slipped.
Obviously. Yeah,
but no, seriously, this is a really bad base to take. I'm glad that Snute took that canceled opportunity to take the other base.
It's all local. I guess later on, if you've got enough creep spread, it doesn't look that bad, but just not being able to see up the vision, it's tough enough as is. Base might get canceled over here. Marines going ham. Optimus doing a lot of work with very little. One medevac gets picked off.
Oh, that's really annoying. So usually if a Terran gets backed into a corner, it's either do or die, get out or don't. But that just random was okay, bye.
I feel like what we just saw was the first time someone realized you could walk away from locusts. And okay.
Yeah, so this is bad news for another, okay, the more I check out how Snute's going to have to expand, the more I'm just finding faults in every single expansion. This one, if Optimus goes down the middle right here, then it's on him, right? He goes up this ramp, then it's fine. But if he goes up this ramp with tanks and then eventually gets to the back of that mineral line, can Snute actually defend it? I don't know.
Well, the thing is, though, as silly as it is, and as funny as that looks like, oh, he's going to have a cheap. Since we get away too much, I was just gonna say really quick. Go back to the game. This little cliff thing where he literally just walked away from the action. This isn't a thing, and I can't think of any reasons why it's not. It just hasn't been, and maybe it is OP for Terran, and then someone a long time ago figured that out, and that's why it's been the case since then. But it is cool to see this things like this. I'm excited to see explored and tested with maps, not things where you've just got dumb base layouts or whatever for the mineral patches, but it's things like that I think are cool. For example, another really good one that's a lot more obvious. For years, the rule was you couldn't make pathways that were too small because it'd be way too broken for Protoss to force field it, and that was in every map maker's handbook. So we never saw anyone experiment with it. Then last year, a little bit before Legacy launched, we started seeing some maps start coming out. We were oh, you know what? Now we have the tools to work around it, so it's actually possible to do this thing again. So again, like I'm not trying to make too big of a case for that specific little base there, but it's cool to see that like we might have some of these taboos that we've all learned that are just like no bueno. That's what these maps get to test. I'm cool with that. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to get out of this map contest.
Yeah. I wonder if the map maker even really thought about it when he did it. I gotta assume so, because you're right. Most maps don't have that, but it'd be funny if he was all excited about these low yields and these like high ground, low ground, and then the cast is the most excited about this.
The thing he like messed up and like didn't do properly. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to like, for the map makers, if any of you guys are watching, none of what we say is ever going to be directed like personally or with malice. Like these are our honest opinions, and I hope that they're of some value to you guys. Because we just want to help out, really.
I just have, like, this is not even... I'm not even thinking about how the map makers are going to take it, or if they think we're stupid, or whatever. I'm just like, it's a lot of fun to cast these tournaments, because there is so much to think about. Even if you end up that you were dumb, as you, like, finish your thought, you're like, oh, that didn't make any sense at all. Okay, I'm dumb. Don't mind me. I still enjoy it.
So, by the way, I want to make this perfectly clear. This tournament is sponsored by Blizzard. Oh, this is a 3-player spawn map. And these guys I'm about to give some love to have no place being shouted out, but because he's so close to our hearts, I can't not do it. We got Jesse in chat. And while we are running this massive Ting Open on the sideline of everything that we've been doing, we have been still advertising for Ting where we can. So quick note, if you guys have ever had questions about Ting, now's the time to ask while Jesse's in chat. He's the man with the plan, he's got all the answers, and he's the dude who wears the red shirt in that silly commercial.
It's the dude in the red shirt. But not the red shirt guy. That's just something completely different.
That's World of Warcraft. Come on. See, you know what? I feel like you're trying really hard now to show me that you know memes, and I appreciate it. I want to let you know that I appreciate the effort. I see what you're doing, and I appreciate it.
My meme knowledge is the deep good ones, you know? Like the nuggets that are stored in the back of people's minds. So when I bring it back up, they're like, oh yeah, that was a clever one. If I wanted to just do dank memes all day, then it'd get old.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 is underway. We have different spawns than the last time we saw this map. Well, as different as they can be, at least. In the top left side, we have the red Terran player from Dead Pixels. It's Optimus.
The bottom left is the blue Zerg. He is Snute.
And one of the glaring things we saw when Horsemanshire played this was that this base is maybe going to cause some AI issues. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I do think it's going to be a bit of a pain to take. Like, I don't imagine there's a Terran player who's crazy enough to CC first on this map. Like, it's just asking for trouble.
Well, yeah, CC first is already kind of questionable. Although, funnily enough, against any pool first, it's actually better. But any early pools, I think it's still dangerous. I don't see for CC first much anymore. Back in my day, we called it a 14 CC. Now it's a 17, I think, or 19. I don't remember. So whenever you have enough minerals. But yeah, I just, I don't know about like greedy expansions here, but the way that they're going to be attacking into each other is what's really curious. So like, let's say that, you know, you put a bunker next to Man Center and it's perfectly fine against any like 2 baseling shenanigans or run bys or something. Well, when the actual attack happens and they're actually like, you know, doing the whole tug of war thing that is so cool about TvZ, in these positions, man, like it's going to be a very dramatic like back and forth, like much more dramatic than normal, like almost ZDZ back and forth, where if you mess up once, immediate attack into your natural. If they mess up once, like immediately like push into their third and then their natural. It's gonna be like chaos, blood and guts everywhere.
Well, again, for those who weren't watching, I mean, there is, I guess, a little bit of terraforming on the map. Now, first off, when I saw this before, I wasn't sure how pathing would work, and this is kind of cool. Like, all things considered, it's a little bit almost like Alrena. Like, you could put a depot there, I guess, if you're really desperate. You could go around it, obviously, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that with the map. There's the cooling towers around your base. You can seal this off. If you want to take crazy bases to the side, I mean, good luck, have fun, more power to you. But this is, I will say that this map gets me really intrigued on the ways that it can be used. And the 3-player element of it really, it just adds something where I want to see more. I really want to see more of this map.
I don't think I like this map this much. Like, these spawns especially are giving me nerves. I think maybe if Snute had spawned on the right side, it would have been a little more interesting of attack path, but even then, it's still a very small map. I'm looking at mutas and any air war. right now too. There's a lot of dead space on the left side for your bases, and then of course they can just hover around your natural with the ridge that it has and be able to escape as well. That's going to be really annoying to deal with against muted players. But funnily enough, Zergs might not be tempted to go for mutas because it's such a short map. They might just be feeling like roaches. In this case, Snute is feeling a roach all in, which is not what I meant, but is also could also be very good on this map.
Ooh. Okay, this is a little bit problematic for Optimus. He's gonna not really get this home. Roach is just gonna be able to police those Hellions down. As the Lings start running across the map, of course there's no wall.
Of course not.
They're trying to chip down that one, I guess, slowly behind it. I think with the Cyclone, though, another one's on the way, too. Cyclone and this Banshee should be able to clean this up. I love that he's actually choosing to focus on the Lings over the Roaches there initially. I think that the Lings are going to be the bigger problem.
Oh.
The Roaches knocked down the door, but...
Oh, a little back door.
Oh, this holds. That little depot build was huge, actually.
Yeah. And the Lings flood in, and that just takes so long to clean up. Even with a Cyclone and a Banshee. So the natural was successfully denied, and supply depot one goes down. That's annoying. And Snute does expand behind this to the south. anything else that would have been really aggressive?
Do we look? Are there any yield? There's no yield on this one, right? There's all full bases.
No, I think this is just a rush map, not a map, mineral map, or whatever you want to call it. I forget the category names.
Yeah, there's rush, macro, experimental, and I think resource or something. I can't remember the topics. Anyways, Banshee comes across the map to get a couple of kills. Unfortunately, will be driven off. I mean,
those rocks are broken down.
Oh, he got them so low too. Oh, that's really unfortunate.
Oh, it feels bad.
Oh, then he's gonna expand. You crazy, Optimus!
Oh, he totally forgot he didn't break down those rocks. Luckily, the Hellions are on a ramp, so they don't. They could have been surrounded.
Oh, is he gonna play Mac?
Nasty.
No, it's extra barracks coming down now. Okay. I was gonna say we're kind of hitting that timing where a late stim is understandable, but a lack of barracks production isn't. So, never mind. The barracks do come down.
Oh, that's just another score. Okay, I really do hope that it goes to a mid game here. Like Optimus has taken shots and he's canceling command centers, and it's not a great game for him, but he is holding. So I hope it goes to a mid game really well because I want to see what the path looks like to attack into Snute. Do you just try and attack into his natural since he took his third behind him? Do you go to the third through the path in the middle?
I think part of that's going to be dictated in the way Snute plays, right? Like, if this is going to be, say, Roach, Ravager, and Fungals, it's a lot different than trying to keep up with someone with Speedlings all over the map. Oh,
true.
This is a very nice planet view, by the way. But yeah, I don't know, because, like, even here, like, just on this ramp, you're like, oh, you don't want to go down there if there's even, like, one Ravager or a couple of Banelings waiting for you on the other side, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do feel like long ways could favor you, too, because if you're someone like Snute who didn't knock down your rocks, first thing I think Optimus does is he charges in, knocks down the tower, and then kills this base really easily.
Good point.
I mean, again, these are hypotheticals. You guys have seen as much of this map as we have.
Third CC is finally on the way again, by the way. Like, he really wanted to go for a much faster command center, and then I just build barracks, so it would have been way too late.
Okay,
So
I got it. I figured
sucks.
it out. I know how you expand on this map as Terran. Are you ready for this? If you got some riff logics in chat, guys, get ready to throw it down. You do a 3-3 CC before racks, okay? That way you can wall this off, no problem. All right, so you don't even build it on the natural. You build it on the wall. Then you take the SCVs.
How effective that would be?
Hold up.
Them into orbitals.
Then you take the SCVs and you use them to attack the rock tower while you're building the command centers. That way, you won't have to worry about having money for the orbitals or the barracks because you've been busy knocking down the wall and sealing yourself in.
I don't even care that made no sense at all. Okay? I care because you couldn't even turn them into orbitals when they're done. You just be like, oh, this is great.
I mean, that was very clearly not a real build, and if anyone listens to that, you're going to have a real bad time. Don't do that. In fact, there's no situation where you should ever 3CC before barracks.
You know what I do wish, in a bit more legit thing here, is that Optimus would have defended one of his ramps with a wall of barracks.
Yeah, if this had actually been like a 3 Reaper opener or something, that could have been maybe a little bit different. Because the Reapers could actually tear down the one rock really easily if you had to pull back and defend, I mean, instead of getting close. But anyway,
there's also just like put your supply depots there. Because why not? Eventually they could break down your rocks, even if you broke them down first.
Well, Liberator's actually taking one of the Ravagers. Not bad. Spore Collar's still being adjusted. Snoot's been reacting to this very nicely. Teamwork! Knock it down like down.
Okay, so I think that...
Oh. Okay, that turned on a very bright light, apparently.
I'm not sure how to do it. So Snute is going roaches, right? And getting infestors right now. And that's fine. And that's probably what Zerg will have to do on this map, although it's still questionable.
Zombie Grub, inside joke time. Check it out. Look, there's a bear painted on the wall.
What is that? That's like a Zoid. It's not
I
even
know.
like an actual cat.
Maybe that's the cool Easter egg of the map. I don't know.
Anyway, so Optimus probably is going to be a little hesitant to be the aggressor. You know, like if Snute was going Ling Bane Ling Muta, he would probably want to be attacking into his natural and like forcing trades and being aggressive and all that. But since it's Roach Ravager, maybe he's a little more hesitant.
Well, this attack ends up being really nice. A lot of this have moved over, but as the rally comes up from that main, now he's got an army to fight with. Fungal Growth! That's the entire army. Good night.
But, okay, so if Optimus had started building... This is a nice drop, by the way. If Optimus had started building tanks from the get-go, and he just pushed into Snoot's natural, wouldn't that be hard to defend with no matter what composition you're going for?
Well, so I'm wondering, too, if tanks can reach back here. This looks like it should be out of range, but I feel like a tank on the edge might be able to clip just the extractor or something. I don't know. Yeah,
well, we look at that edge, but you know, there's a ton of others that we can look at that are definitely in range, like the Spore Crawlers and the Gas Geyser to the north of his natural.
Oh yeah.
The fourth base, I do believe. Yeah,
actually,
definitely.
Yeah, tanks down here while you attack this ramp.
Yeah, exactly. And your rally is immediate too.
Oh, you know what? You can turn this into that thing too, like on King Sejong, where if you knock down the rock tower, build 2 bunkers to the right side. There's no easy way for a Zerg player to get on top of you if you had done this, but. Of course, that would take practice and planning and not, like, first time seeing the map.
The fourth base also would be tricky because I think you can siege up on the lower ledges and harass the mineral lines. But you can also just kind of keep moving to the right and, you know, they'll be going into their own choke type of deal. So I don't know. This fourth base could be tricky if Optimus actually had this huge army that was mainly tanks moving anywhere, but... Right now, he's just going to using his medevac drops while he builds his tank count. Because his tanks started late, but they're not 2 at a time.
That was a risky save on that last Marine. I gotta say, that was almost not worth it. But okay, so Snoot's on Hive Tech now. We are getting some mid-game out of this. That's fantastic to see. But regardless of the criticism on like when the tanks were or were not coming, the fact is that we got 2 at a time, and I like this. And I love that we're going to get to see some tank positioning on this map.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, he started him late, but he tried to make up kind of, you know, for like a quick second factory.
Oh, maybe we won't see any tank positioning on this map.
Okay, so, I mean, this is what Zergs probably are going to have to do. Like, if they don't stop the tanks from sieging up that natural, they're probably going to be in a lot of trouble. Same with the Protoss, actually. Tanks are probably the #1 problem on any of these maps to consider, but for sure that natural is going to be a pain if you just let them come up to you. We have drops in the fourth base once again, kills another 9 drones. This is some nice damage, but Snute hasn't really been trading army, so he's banking anyway.
Well, this is really interesting about the map design too, which, again, is a good thing to be testing. Snoot's got to expand pretty far, and even with creep spread, it's easy to understand why he's being pulled apart. Like front line over here, back base over here, it's not exactly easy to get back and deal with those drops.
For sure. Like, even if it's a small map, I guess it's deceptive how easy it is to defend those outer bases with slow roaches and ravagers. But while Optimus was initially taking a good fight, he just didn't realize Snute was coming back with more army. So unfortunately, he loses all of his tank to start from 2 again. But loses his 5th base. As I said, Snute is banking minerals, so I'm not sure he's too upset about it.
His overall supply, his army supply, his tech, like, make no mistake, Optimus isn't even on 2-2, and Ultralists are about to pop with chitinous plating. This is very much Snute running away with the game. But I applaud Optimus because of 2 reasons. One, maybe they do something cool. That wins the hearts of the viewers. Boom, they vote him back for the finals. But secondly, he's going to help test the map, which is the emphasis of this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. And this map is looking more fun as the game goes on. None of these pitfalls that we've been talking about have actually happened.
This is actually reminding me a lot of Merry-Go-Round without the problem around that dead center of the map.
Or the air blockers.
Well, the air blockers were kind of weird. I don't feel like they played an influence on like the first week of games, and we almost never saw them play an influence again afterwards.
Well, they were one of the reasons you didn't want to go mutas, but one of many reasons. Yeah, this is looking okay, but I'm still worried that, because Optimus kind of had a bad start, and this is the same situation as last game too on Blood Boil, and you just gotta wonder if like everything had been smooth up until then, and he had a very clear plan to go for like a 2-tank push or something, would it look a lot different? Well, we wouldn't know. Much damage, and now trying to take an offensive engagement. His tank's not in an A choke, but not the best choke.
All right, GG. Snute now with a 2-0 lead. One game away from placing into that round of 8. But we're going to go to a commercial break. And the reason I always send this off so quickly, guys, is so we can get out of the way and you don't miss any of the action. So we'll be back in just 2 minutes. See you soon. All right, folks, we're back. Thanks for watching that break. Again, Nate is currently casting Euthermal versus Mana, and it looks like it's actually quite an interesting series going on over there as well. So I hope you're all making sure to multi-twitch it up and all that good stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching BaseTradeTV. We appreciate it. Spawning here in the bottom right, he's up two points in this best of 5. It's going to be Team Liquid's Blue Zerg, Snute.
In the top left is the red Terran. It's Dead Pixels Optimus.
Optimus seems pretty keen on picking this map. Again, loser's choice in this tournament, so maybe he just likes the macro style of it. Maybe he likes the bases. I mean, I don't know how much either of these guys have seen the games we've cast or played on the maps in practice and preparation, but this is a map I want to see, Turtle. This is the game I want to see go 40 minutes deep type thing on this map.
It might. I definitely want to see Snute go for Mutas here as opposed to Roach Ravager. That's still a long ways off. As we've learned, the expansions are pretty well set up. Not too many questions about it. Maybe Snute tries to take his third in a pocket and bring down the rocks really quickly. Or maybe he just expands to the north as you would expect. Glad to see a non-mirror matchup finally on this map. Basically.
Well, I mean, in this one, yeah, we of course had the Korean tournament. A couple of good games over there on this map.
Well, wasn't that?
Or I guess you left, so you didn't get to watch the stats time back-to-back game on this one, huh?
Yeah, I don't remember which one I cast on this one, but I don't remember it being that impressively used. It was a PDT, I think. Maybe that was stats this time, and then I left.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought you had seen at least one of them before leaving.
Yeah, stats up the third base in the back.
Yeah, Warp Prismed over.
And then he just died because he did like a weird like push.
Yeah.
And it was just like, stats, what are you doing? Like I remember that. So I guess so it wasn't a mirror matchup, but it also wasn't the best amazing use of the map.
I do gotta give some credit where it's due, by the way. Nice username, aka Joey, aka guy who doesn't know who Jean-Claude Van Damme is, so he's no longer my friend. I can't deal. Oh, sorry, got carried away.
A little bappy. Just give
this wonderful human being though that does take care of our YouTube did get the VODs up ASAP. The VODs from the Korean map test tournament are up already. If you missed any of those games, there was some surprising upsets in the overall score of it, but more importantly, the best of 9 finals went to game 8. So that alone tells you like a lot about how that went, I think. Worth checking out.
Okay, well, we have 1-1-1 on the way for Optimus after expanding, and Snute does scout it. You'll probably want to see if it's, tag lab or not on the starboard, but so far Optimus has favored going for at least one Banshee.
So this is where it gets interesting too, just hypothesizing about these back bases while this goes on. Again, for those who haven't tuned in, the first time you're seeing it, this gigantic wall with all these like no-go signs, these are air blockers. Overlords, medevacs, nothing flies through this. You can fly around it, you can't fly through it. I do wonder who this favors. Like, it might not actually be better for a Terran player. Like let's say Snute takes this really fast, right? It might not actually be better for Optimus to fly in and try and kill that base, because you might just get caught out there. But the downside is there's no physically running over with Lings to deal with it. So I feel like any player who's willing to go for a Nidus Worm would get so many cool benefits out of it on this map in particular.
I think once Snute gains control with his mutas and has like a decent amount of spread, I can certainly see that being the base he takes.
Actually, I'm thinking not offensively for a moment. Let's say Optimus has taken all 3 of these bases, right? You Nidus Worm in, it's actually way harder to get back and respond with drops because like they'll bump into the wall like idiots. Meanwhile, your Nidus Worm's killed everything.
that would be an extreme game that I would bet we never see.
Okay, I would say maybe not because of the way
At
people
$1.
play. People play conventionally around the maps right now, but I think that if it turns out that, let's say, every Terran and every Protoss, they find a way to turtle on this map. Like, this is in the ladder. This is 3 months from now, right? Everyone's turtling, and that's the meta. I think Nitoswarm probably breaks that better than anyone can defend it. Because even then, like, let's say you bring your army back with Terran, you're still unloading units one at a time to a Nitoswarm that's already unloaded its army.
Yeah, I think that might just turn into a base race at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
not impossible, which is why I said I'd bet, instead of just being like, stop it, Rifkin.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make this clear. This has nothing to do with balance. I don't think anything's OP or broken. We're just talking about the cool possibilities that this new map presents.
Yeah. I mean, but, you know, my reasoning as to why it would never ever happen is that we'd have to have like a 25-minute game for them to take all 3 of those bases. Because they'd have to take at least 2 bases over here first to have any sort of semblance of a normal early to mid game. And then they take those bases, which would be 5 bases. Those are long games in Legacy of the Void if it gets to 5 bases, for sure. But it is technically possible. Banshee gets destroyed. Helen's being thwarted. Optimus goes for a kind of, you know, quick third anyway, already on location. And they are playing a macro game, which makes sense. This map is good for macro.
Someone in chat asking why there's a giant Blizzard logo on the stream. Well, that's because these fine folks are sponsoring the tournament, guys. They're providing the prize pool, making it so these players have something to shoot for, other than just the kindness of their hearts to test the maps.
Yep.
A reward for their time.
Okay, interesting. This is the first... No, we did see these rocks breaking down, never mind.
But it would be kind of cool to see Snute try and get away with this. I mean, he has gotten his 3rd and is pretty well set, and he should be able to just take a 4th pretty comfortably. And this, yeah, like I don't know a lot of Zerg that have tactics that turtle so hardcore, but it is 4 bases he's basically got on lockdown now. Oh,
yeah. I think this is going to be really annoying for the player who wants to be aggressive, I guess, right? Because that technically is any race nowadays. You know, Protoss aren't only turtling, Zergs aren't only turtling to ultras, that type of thing, but whoever wants to be aggressive is going to have to, you know, especially based on ground. There's like one real bridge here in Paradise Lost, one real pathway into all the bases. And as soon as Snute has creep shred gone beyond that point, it's going to be even harder. Because that's like the one downside, I guess, for Snute right now, is that its creep shred has to go kind of like in a lot of different directions and cover a lot. But once it's past that bridge, it's going to be really annoying for Optimus. Actually, he's definitely going to have to do a couple more drops and really catch him out of position.
Well, so that's as well. I'll try and draw this on the mini map. It'll be harder to emphasize any other way. Like this here and downwards is the skywall, right? So there's no way you can drop up here. If these are the only 2 ways in, you can choke this off. So you can. What was that map? Was it Dusk Towers that had that horrible middle part? People would get stuck in all the time. Like you just build a wall of spines and nobody can move forward.
Yeah. People build like cannons and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking is maybe going to happen for this map.
Yeah. So this is what I expect to happen more often, and the more that it happens, if this was a ladder map, the more it's already prepared for and isn't really viable.
My god, 10 kills, not bad. 11 on the other. Those are good Widow Mines.
Target firing the Banelings, good moves here. I think there might be enough Lings, although they're not upgraded. Snute went for 4 bases and a lair, and then went for upgrades. So those are pretty damn late. Did he forget? That seems way too late.
I'm not sure.
I just kind of assumed he already had some on the way.
I don't know if it was forgetting versus prioritizing. It very well may have been just a simple mistake, but this was kind of cool watching him get away with combination creep spread and exploration and just taking the expansions too.
Yeah, for sure. But in that way, I wouldn't be surprised if he was like any other
Optimus.
Any other map, and I'm like no way Snute would forget his upgrades for this long. But if you're busy looking like, oh, this is where I have to take the base. Oh, this is what I have to defend. Like maybe you do make that mistake because these are just super late.
I do want to mention that this is destructible. The gate to the sky wall.
Yeah.
If you're a Terran player who's just getting fed up with that, break it down. Then you won't have that AI be so stupid. But you're still gonna have to deal with stupid AI.
Right, I'm actually questioning that because like we don't know what happens when it's broken down, and we might never see it being broken down. Like, what if the AI is still bad?
What if it actually comes back after a set amount of time?
Well, what if the AI just basically is like, oh, it's not down, I'm confused, and continues to derp out?
It'd be like those force fields, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Snoot's got a pretty nice amount of banlings, but his army supply is a bit lacking. So many drones were made, 79. So setting on 20 banlings is not a bad number by any means, but there's Widow Mines, there's 40 plus Marines, there's Hellbats. This is not going to be an easy army to break.
Yeah, Optimus did have a pretty powerful start to this game. Unfortunately, one of mine isn't burrowed, but that's really like all of his banelings.
Yeah, he's got a couple coming in from the side that just finished up, but that was messy. He dived in with the lings to try and trigger the Widow Mines. He didn't even barely do that. These Widow Mines are still ready to fire. Oh, God.
Oh, this is a really bad choke. He lost his surround opportunity, too, because he just had to consolidate his army.
It's a bad choke, depending on your point of view. Optimus is loving it right now.
Yeah, right? I think Snute... Well, he has so much money, but he can't... You know, there's not enough larva here. Yeah, if he had an attack coming from the back, it might be really good.
Yeah, he's even got that macro hatchery in the main. Looks like he will finally find a way to break this.
That was a bit of a mistake from Optimus.
But this was still like a really good attack at Optimus. Like, okay, this didn't kill drones, it didn't kill the hatchery, and in that regard, it sucked. But it traded out really well versus Snute's army, and it's still trading out well versus Snute's army.
Yeah.
Like, Snute still hasn't fully cleaned this up.
The rally is not, you know, it's not a short map, but it is just enough as Snute has, you know, continuing to rally here. His queens come to the front lines. Maybe he's not injecting as much either. And of course, the upgrades have finished. And he was an entire upgrade and a half behind. So yeah, Optimus has a 2-2 lead.
Yeah, this is certainly harrowing. Snute's got to be a little bit frustrated. But you know what? That army supply is a lot closer to even than being down 30 like it was earlier. Concern though is Snute, he keeps giving away a lot of banelings. He doesn't have round 2 ready to go just yet. His larva's really starting to kill him at this point. All these queens are on the front line. Nobody's injecting. So thank God he's got like 6 hatcheries to work with.
Yeah, right? Drones are being transferred, I guess. So some of the reason that Optimus did have to like a little lull right there was that he didn't burrow his Widow Mines like twice, I think, 2 engagements. And he also did start to, he kind of slipped once on his macro, especially when it came to Widow Mine production. But now he's back up. Back up to 3 Marauders, second factory even on the way. Maybe thinking about Thor to add in against those mutas, and I think it might be wiser for him to pull back at this point. Snute has had time to utilize all 6 hatcheries and should have units every which way, and Optimus isn't quite sure where his army is. Now he sees it.
Okay, so Widow Mine caught one of the rallied mutas. That feels bad. I mean, the Widow Mines have been actually pretty fantastic, all things considered, and some of them have even been target fired, so it's not all just been like no skill, all luck. But at some point here for Snute, I'm wondering, like, Optimus has done a great job with what he's had so far. He's finally got the 4th base down, but his money's just not been at the same pace as Snute. I mean, look at the income graph. It's all blue. 79
drones. He just, you know, it was like on the cusp of utilizing it. That was so scary. Pushing off of creep, it might just still be overwhelming numbers.
Yeah.
Kind of looks to be the case. One more Widow Mine to pop off. Might get a good hit, or not.
No, it ends up hitting a lot of the Marines, which was really unfortunate. Yeah, the muta count's not been that high, but it is going to focus down the medevacs. I love that choice out of Snutes. But he cleans up the Optimus finally and has a bit of momentum, so he's going to carry through with that momentum and push across the map. So 3-3. Oh, 3-3's about to finish up here for Optimus. Small time here. Yeah,
but he just took the worst fight possible. Like, he's down 40 supply. Now Snute has this, like, a ton of time to recover and stabilize and, you know, put creep down and build his muta count. There's one thing that's been missing in this game that I thought Paradise Lost would be terrible for as a Terran player, and that's like mutas just taking control and keeping you on the backside. Now, maybe with the, you know, bit of calmness here, there's going to be 20 mutas. No, he's only at 12. That's not that impressive, but say he was at 20 mutas. There's a lot of open space in Optimus's main that he has not bothered protecting and only is now thinking of.
So sure, absolutely, but I'm actually kind of glad that this didn't go super high in mutas. I feel like if Snute had invested in even just so much as 1 more muta, he may have not had the gas to get the bailings out, to hold on the way he did for as long as he did. I mean, let's not keep in mind, well, that final fight looks so overpowered for Snute and Zerg Imba. It did take him like 4 or 5 really bad fights to get there.
Yeah, no, for sure. If he had done that early on, then he would have been dead.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go.
Gonna see him broken down. Ooh. It is pretty bad that if you just go to their base, they get AI'd on. Like, that is definitely troublesome. Love that Snute takes the bottom bases as well. I think the bases beyond the first 5 are kind of questionable otherwise. Yeah, the 6 that he's getting behind below the mutas.
Steer's like, I hate this wall so much.
Yeah, this base he's getting is questionable, and Optimus should be able to get a cancel.
I almost wish the game would give you like a warning when that happens too, like the North Sky Gate has fallen or something, you know?
That would be kind of cool.
But okay, I think Snoot's army and Optimus's army, it's actually really well matched for a late game engagement. Optimus has certainly got the upgrades over Snute, and that's worth noting, but Snoot's got so much money, like so much money in the bank.
Yeah, these upgrades look more normal than it was like 2-2 entire upgrade ahead of 1-1. This is where Zerg feel comfortable.
No, the Thor's actually a cool addition. It gets some nice splash damage on the Mutas, but it's not going to be enough as the Lynx surround it. Baneleys go off, but so do Widow Mines. Both players' armies collide, and they're holding even in numbers, but those Mutas, I think, are going to be the tipping force in this fight. As you see, the Marines getting focused down. I mean, the Medevacs are next, and Optimus once again has to back away.
And that Thor was super disappointing. Oh, that Widow Mine tried to make up for it.
That Widow Mine, yeah.
It ended up hitting a couple of Mutas that were kind of in front of the others, so it did not get as much damage as it should have. Another Thor comes in here, though, and now these Mutas are all weak. He right-clicks once, and they clump up. They're all going to die. And this is still a very tough game. Optimus should be expanding again. Yeah, he's expanding with his main base, going to the south. So far, he has not had any pressure on his side of the map. Like, that's better than probably other games that we'll see on this map in the future. So you should feel comfortable.
I love the drone transfer. I think that's actually super adorable. I do, you know, just as a total side note, I've been thinking about this more and more. I really wish they'd reverse the Thor animations. Like, I wish the splash damage was the 4 cannons on his back, shooting like explosions in the sky. Because the little dinky missiles that come out of its chest just don't seem like they should be devastating splash damage.
I know.
They seem like precision strikes, Blizzard, for long-range single-target attacks. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Optimus pushing in here. Even army supply still with that upgrade lead. Snute crashes in, splits up his Mutas once again, so they're not taking that devastating damage from the Thor.
And I mean, the Thors are instantly surrounded. You know what? He started investing in some armor upgrades for mech. I mean, that was gonna help Thors, Medevacs, and Widow Mines, but obviously not enough. GG. Snute with a 3-0 takes the series and moves on to that round of 8.
Optimus just did not take the fights that he wanted, but I'm still surprised that he had so little to worry about. Like, he did expand pretty calmly and you know, without any trouble.
Well, I gotta applaud Snute for this victory too, because again, when Optimus played in Ting, like, that looked very much Optimus favored. You know, that wasn't like questions of like, will this or won't this go this way? Like, on one hand, like, it's sad to see Optimus fall here, but it was very nice to see Snute get a victory over a player that he had recently lost to in such a fashion. By the way, a little bit of a surprising bracket showing too. You know, Denver beating Bly, I think, was a bit of an upset for people on our stream, but we didn't get to watch. Apparently, Lily Canine beat Koss. And not just like a little bit, but like 3-1. I really like Lily Canine, and I super hype him up, but that's because I know he's not like an A-tier superstar player. The fact that he'd beat Koss, who's very good at TvT in a 3-1 manner, that's really impressive on the brackets to me.
I agree.
But it's worth noting, Snute will move on to fight against Hero Marine tomorrow. Our round of 8 is actually starting to shape up really nicely. To give you guys a bit of a preview if you don't want to type brackets and you're feeling lazy. Yeah, so Lily Canine versus Euthermal, that'll be another TvT. You got Denver versus Harsum in a ZVP. TvZ up here, Hero Marine and Snute. And then down here, we're going to find out whether it's Beastie or Lambo versus Nurchio or Neeb. But I do want to remind everybody, this round of 8, everyone here wins $200. Congratulations. You can walk away with no less than that. Everyone who wins here wins $300. So it's really not that much of a difference. You might be wondering, like, Rift, well, then why are you still making them play? Because we need to have them show off their games and show off the maps, because this match here is worth $1,000.
Oh.
And the only way to get to that match that I turned the screen off too soon for is to get voted back in by our fans here on BaseTradeTV. It's experimental, it's new, it's different. I hope you guys will take part in the vote, but we need to go find Nurchio and Neeb. So we're going to go to commercial break. I see Nurchio online. Neeb might be the one missing. We are about 20, 15-ish minutes ahead of schedule. I'm not too worried. We'll find him, I'm sure. But thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more. And also, thank you to Taco Stuff One for the bits. I think that's all we missed. On one hand, it's like sad when you don't have like a bunch of subs to shout out, but on the other, you're like, yeah, I didn't miss anybody. Anyways, We'll see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for watching.